What's good, everybody? It's your boy Sideshow with Evelyn and Skeptic, and this is the Devil's Work podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about The Untamed. It is a Mexican film by the crazy-ass director. I don't know who the fuck allowed this man to make this movie. Amat Escalante. This movie came out in 2016, and just being upright, just being upfront right off the bat, it's the horniest movie I believe we'll ever cover.
It's highly sexual.
There will be other movies that are possibly more sexual in nature. Like I'd say Visitor
But
Q.
like just barely.
Yeah. But I would say Visitor Q is more sexual than this. But it's not horny.
That's right. You're gonna
like
make
it's
me watch
like
that
it's
one
like
again,
it's
you
not. Yeah.
It
Spoilers for the future. We're definitely gonna have to watch that.
Wait, which one?
Like it's not
Visitor Q.
Oh, okay.
Like that movie's not horny at all. The Untamed is just seeping with horniness. It's like ridiculous.
Sopping wet.
So do we tell them?
I think immediately we're gonna start off with just we want to answer a general question when we pick these movies. Why? Because we're gonna all take turns rotating, and we're all gonna choose different ones that we are excited about and stuff. But we're gonna start off with why. Like I know Evelyn.
Why?
Why?
For the
Why,
love of God.
Why? For the
love of God.
Well, I was Googling hentai, and this
wholesome entertainment not involving tentacles or animal titties.
It's a real weird night.
This is
a real weird night.
This is a movie about some people who have sex with an alien. Just so you guys know.
Yeah.
But
that's not a spoiler. Like the first.
That's not a spoiler.
The first shot of the movie is
we start there.
It's alien sex.
So I'm gonna be honest. I don't know where. I saw the trailer like a long time ago, and I was like, "That looks like fun." And they hint at it. They definitely hint at.
I want that for me.
Yeah. I was like, okay. I don't know where I saw the trailer or what the circumstances of that was, but I was in. And it took me years to finally get around to seeing it.
Yeah.
And I
I
was satisfied with the results.
Thoroughly.
Yeah. But
yeah, you brought it to my attention. I'd never even heard about it.
Yeah, it's kind of a kind of obscure movie. As Disgustipated says on Letterboxd, even if you are not a huge fan of tentacle porn, I urge you to check this out. It's sort of like it's
fair.
It's weird to say this. It is mostly a drama and less of a horror. It definitely has horror elements, but it's like the movie is mostly about these people and their miserable lives, and this alien is at the center of it, and the alien is sort of like this crazy metaphor that works for all of their sexual frustration.
I'm like just realizing this right now, but it's like more Cloverfield than Cloverfield. Like this in
right.
like 10
wrong.
Cloverfield Lane would be a
yeah.
very interesting double feature.
Oh my!
They both
Oh
feature
That's a really good take on that. I like that.
They both feature some very specific paranoia stemming from very specific factors.
Yeah.
And you feel trapped. And I was kind of saying that to my girlfriend when we were watching this movie together, that like a lot of the shots in people's homes and stuff are just so cramped, and like it felt so purposeful that like you really just feel like so the whole movie like
you're confined.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. It feels very much so. There's a lot of like claustrophobic elements, I would say, even in just like there's a lot of like long push-ins, like zoom-ins, like super slow zoom-ins. I don't want to say super slow, but they're like slow zooms, you know what I mean, on a lot of nothing.
Which is the pace of the movie. It's a very, very slow burn. It is in no hurry.
Extremely.
And like so it's about some people fucking an alien, but it's actually about some of the things that
sometimes
it deals
each
with.
other.
Yeah.
So
it talks about like unhealthy marriages, heteronormative rules, toxic masculinity, repressed sexuality, homophobia, domestic violence.
Absolutely.
So those are all the uncomfortable things that they address here.
It really runs the gamut of like sexual and interpersonal relationship issues of like emotional abuse, gaslighting, physical abuse, financial abuse, even.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you're right. When I was watching it initially, we had brought this up before, just in private, that it reminded me a lot about. There's a film that I personally love that I've told you I even want to cover on this, Possession.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's weirdly similar to Possession.
I definitely saw when I was Googling around after watching the movie. Well, after I Googled around, I went on the internet. That was a masturbation joke.
It's healthy.
Yeah, it's healthy. You got to get the poison out.
Don't be ashamed.
Get the poison out.
Gotta get the demons out.
If you're ever not sure if you should do something, do that first, and then you'll really just make the decision with a calm head.
That's the lesson to take away from everything that we tell you.
The moral of this story
I knew there was a metaphor I wasn't getting, and I'm glad I just cracked it. But yes, when I was like looking around online afterwards to kind of just like gauge people's opinions and stuff, I saw tons of people be like, "This is pretty much Possession too. Yeah. This is pretty much like it's very similar." And I haven't seen Possession.
Also very different.
I would say so. So like, I know you haven't seen it yet, but like I'll tell you, like, just there's a lot of similarities for sure down to even the name, the juxtapositions of the names, the Untamed and Possession. It's kind of generally the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you're very right. The movies, they both stand alone on their own. I think they have their own legs for sure.
The key message here is that marriage is awful. Don't ever do it. Go fuck an alien instead. You'll be happier.
I'm just
keep your options open.
I'm just realizing now what a wasted opportunity was. That I don't know if y'all are familiar with the guitarist Joe Satriani.
No.
But he has a song and an album called "Surfing with the Alien," and
this is a whole lot.
All right,
he's hanging a lot more than 10.
Yeah, it looks like he has more than 10. All right, let's get into this. This meaty, juicy, slippery film.
So, I mean, overall, we're going to hit the trigger warnings. We've already kind of covered them, but I'll add to it. If you're interested in the movie, check it out. But for sure, just know that off the top, we're talking about there's some suicidal ideation, violence against women. We've definitely got just abuse in general, like
a little bit of homophobia, and,
a lot of homophobia.
I guess you're right. I shouldn't say a little bit, but and violence stemming from that.
Violence, and we have tentacles. I put for the last.
If you're frightened of tentacles, just don't.
Squidward
you might want to
tentacles.
skip this one.
Yeah.
But
Do we want to log line this or just go into the?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, no, actually give us a lot before you shut the podcast off, go watch it, this is what you should know.
This is the long log line. Determined to flee but consumed by fear, Alejandra, a young mother and working housewife, is trapped in a violent and unsatisfying relationship with her husband, Angel. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She leans on her brother Fabian for support, but he has secrets of his own. All their lives are turned upside down by the arrival of the mysterious Veronica. Mm-hmm. She convinces them that in the nearby woods, inside of an isolated cabin, dwells something not of this world that could be the answer to all of their problems. Something whose force they cannot resist, but with whom they must make peace or suffer its wrath. Which is sort of dramatic.
I mean, but that is what it is, though. I mean, it is
very accurate and pretty to the point.
Yeah. So I mean, that is overall what you're going to be getting with this, but we're now going to proceed to line by line.
We're going to break it down.
We're going to break this down, bust it open.
Bust it wide.
Yeah.
We're getting all of these jokes. Expect there's no maturity to be found in this episode whatsoever, dude.
This is the blue episode.
This is the blue episode. All right, go ahead, take it away.
Okay. So like when I went to watch this movie, I was expecting like it is a slow burn, and you could tell that right. You get that vibe right from the beginning, but I was expecting to like build up to seeing these people interacting with this creature, but it opens that way. Like we open with Veronica. She goes by Vero, and she is in this room and she's having sex with this creature. You just see like one tentacle.
She's
and you're like, what the fuck is...
Slithers out of frame.
First scene, here we go. So basically,
because they don't show you anything. You just hear her moaning. They kind of pan down, and then it's just like she's naked and like, oh, there's, moaning, and she's feeling herself or something's feeling her, and then it just like tentacles slide.
You're like,
oh,
yeah,
oh, okay.
So she's what you learn is that she goes to this cabin in the middle of nowhere that is owned by this older couple, and they're like scientists, maybe?
Question mark
of some sort.
They're the keepers of the creature, but they're sort of like they're nice older people. They wear sweaters. They drink tea.
They wear sweaters.
They keep notebooks of notes. And yeah, so they're like waiting outside, and she comes out of this room, and they're having this discussion. They're like, "Oh, it hurt her this time."
Yeah.
So maybe she shouldn't come back for a while. And she's like, "Oh man, it bit me."
That's right. Okay, yeah, I didn't really. Okay, I kind of got lost, but yeah, that's exactly what it is.
She's there willingly.
That's the reason why they say that you shouldn't be back. Okay.
And they tell her you need to go away for a while, and she's like, "Do I have to?"
But the alien dick is right here.
Yeah, and she's got a pretty bad wound in her side. She's like bleeding from her side.
Yeah,
and so she's like, okay.
And then she lifts up and like tries to get on her dirt bike, and I was just like, what a fucked up experience. Like that just did not seem like kosher at all, that's tough. And then I wrote down riding a dirt bike bleeding. Sounds like a pretty good rap lyric.
Yeah, absolutely. Which it will be.
She's pretty metal in a very, very quiet kind of way.
Yeah.
She's just like, okay, well,
something that Amanda pointed out to me while we were watching was that her hair throughout the whole thing, like just what the fuck is going on with her hair? Like she constantly has like
she's in distress, bro.
Yeah, it's like multiple hairstyles and like all these things, and
that's true.
Like sort of at once though, where she has like it pinned up in the back, but then she has something going on over here, then something going on over here.
Yeah.
I never really thought, like I noticed it, but I didn't really think about it.
Yeah, it's not something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Latched onto.
I might be jumping ahead a little, but later they kind of mentioned that they've known her for a long time, and
the couple.
Yeah, and sort of my inference from that and the hair is like she just doesn't give a shit. Like she even sort of says at some point like it's weird being around people because she doesn't really care that much.
She does seem like an animal,
but so
she's sort of vacant.
Yeah, so it's just like she just doesn't give a shit about like human norms. She just whatever gets this somewhat out of my face, you know?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, she doesn't give a damn. Okay, so she goes to a clinic to get her wound treated. And then that's where she meets the nurse, Fabian, who's this very sweet gay man.
Oh, he's a sweet little boy.
And she's like, I like your smile. He's like, thanks, we should go dancing sometime.
I think, was it and then like she's like, you ever get railed?
Exactly.
She's very straightforward. She's like, do you like sex? And he's like, don't we all like sex?
Yeah, he's like, of course, duh. And she's like, with boys or girls? It's like, dude.
He's like, I don't know.
It's like, dude.
But and yeah, he's like cleaning her wound, and she's like, I was bitten by a dog. And he's like, you should really figure out whether that dog has rabies. She's like, I wouldn't worry about it.
No, we're cool, bro.
Yeah,
cool, the dog's been tested.
So, and then it's good to know that when I first watched this movie, I was confused by them introducing the characters, and I think Joey was confused in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So we meet Vero, she goes to the clinic, we meet Fabian, and then we meet Alejandra and Angel, who are a married couple. She goes by Ale. And she is living, Ale is living the married nightmare, I guess. She's married to this guy who's he's like a surly man child.
Yeah.
That's
perfect. He's immature.
Perfect description.
He has a temper.
Such a good description.
And she's got these 2 small sons that she's basically taking care of herself. He's not really helping her.
God, and the kids, at one point, I told Amanda, I was like, these kids are the worst. And she was
They're
like,
a bit chaotic.
She was like, they are, but honestly, like, especially for child actors, they're kind of nailing it right now.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Because usually, like in Doctor Strange, the child acting in that film infuriated me so fucking much. I can't do Stranger Things. I can't do any of that shit. It's so hard for me to like believe children's acting.
Yeah.
But then you got this little like 4-year-old tour de force who was like, I have a rash and I don't give a shit.
Dude, that rash looks fucking real.
Yeah,
dude.
that shit was distressing.
Yeah.
So that's
mad. I can't breathe.
Yeah, motherfucker. And then they're just like, walk it off, dude. This is kind of
like the prime example of the fact that Ale is overwhelmed and she's on her own. Is her kid, who's allergic to chocolate, ate chocolate and he's having a rash. And she's like, what do we do? And Angel is like, I don't know. Take him to the hospital. Take him to school. Just take him.
Yeah.
He's like, you expect a favor from me? I just had unfulfilling sex with you. Okay, like Jesus, do I not do enough? And I think we should point out that she tries to remedy the unfulfillment of that sex in the shower and is interrupted and it is ruined by her children.
That's right. Yeah. Those damn kids.
You know, they're always trying to get under the bathroom door.
Yeah, absolutely, like cats, bro.
Yeah, every time.
No one at home can see that, but I'm doing my impression of Yusuke trying to bother me in the bathroom.
Just fucking scratching at that shit.
It's just the coolest place to be.
Yeah, I mean, the whole get over it, like, vibe of that scene, I was even saying, like, because I'm Mexican. And so a lot of this movie for me was just like, I've seen these like occurrences. I can't even call them like tropes, but it's like they're actual occurrences in my own like upbringing in my culture.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Societal norms. And...
Yeah, I've noticed these, like all the toxic masculinity and stuff. All of that was extremely apparent. It was right up front when I fucking saw it. So like that whole notion of like, oh, just get over it and like, you know, just take him to the hospital or whatever. Like, just fucking, you know, you deal with it. That type of shit.
Yeah.
It made me so angry. It made me hate this motherfucker so much more. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, they just immediately, they're like, this is the villain of the piece. Like, fuck this dude. And the whole, just the whole, I could get fired.
Yeah.
I could get fired. No one's going to fire you from being a mom. Okay.
But like... they eventually take the time to show how Angel has ended up this like toxic, fragile, like overly aggressive man is from his own upbringing. Like her in-laws are definitely a part of this situation. Like she actually, he's a what does he do? He's like doing
construction work.
He's surveying and construction.
He's a surveyor, exactly.
And she works for his mom at her candy factory. So like not only is she married to this guy and she's raising his kids, she works for his mom, and like her mother-in-law doesn't really approve of her.
Wow, that's an interesting
and like the kid when he had
an
his
existential nightmare.
It's like even the chocolate that he ate came from their chocolate factory, like, and no one bothered to put the chocolate away. Like everyone's like, Ale, why did you let him have chocolate? And she's like, I didn't give him chocolate, your mom did. And he's like, whatever. So she's like stuck in this
I didn't
family.
even fucking catch that. That's
Yeah,
so
yeah. He's
That's
like
fascinating.
He's
actually.
like, why'd you give it to him? And she's like, I hid it. And he's like, well, why'd you even bring it in the house? Your fucking mom brought it over. Like,
that's right.
We work
yeah,
in
that's
the
right.
chocolate business.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Oh, I hate him even more now. Thank you for giving me one more reason.
he absolutely sucks. And then,
keep going. Yeah, no, keep going. You're good. You're good.
Okay, so we're like, going. We've met Vero and we've met Fabienne. So like, we figure out she takes her son to the clinic to get treated for his rash, and she goes to see her brother Fabienne, who is the nurse. So Ale and Fabienne are siblings, and then very quickly after that,
it's literally the next scene.
We discover that her husband Angel is having a secret affair with her brother Fabienne,
and that's just so like
I gotta say,
God, that sucks.
just the couple notes that I have here. I could get fired. Proceeds to be a bottom at work. It's like literally,
as
like
do.
They're just like,
oh yeah,
they're
when he
just like,
pulls up, yeah,
they're just like humping each other at work.
They're humping each other.
They just
like...
do nothing. Oh, I could get fired. And then he goes and does.
My note for that scene was "Boys will be boys." And it's literally wrestling, drinking, fighting, and then fucking, right?
I put, everyone in this town is one prolonged hug away from ejaculation.
There is much frustration.
And the last note I have to say is props on them for both being switches. I'm not gay, but that seems like a very fulfilling gay relationship, at least like sexually. Because they like literally one finishes and then they just like
all right, rotate
like in a way where it's just like, yeah, we've rotated before.
We know the deal.
They're modern men.
They're modern men, exactly.
Yeah. But the vibe you get from these two men is Fabian, her brother, like obviously he's going behind his sister's back, but like he's a very nice person. He just has this secret. But Angel is very aggressive and when he's not sneaking around with Fabian, he's mocking Fabian for being gay. Like he's got this very like aggressive front up that like very,
my whole note
very
on
homophobic while being gay.
Yeah, it was
which is a thing.
Was like I was like he just comes in with like extremely aggressive "you up" texts.
the most aggressive, just all caps, screaming at this dude.
It was just,
where are you? I want to fuck. And then just
the lady doth protest too much for sure.
And then like maybe in the trigger warning we should have specifically said that the F slur does come up, but like this dude is every single time anyone brings this guy up, he's just like, by the way, I hate gay people.
Being from the culture, I fucking hear it way too much, and it's just it's again all of the lady doth protest. That shit is fucking real. Like it's for real. Like that, like the outwardly aggressive and stuff. It's
covering your tracks.
Exactly.
It's like not a helpful. Toxic. It's like not a helpful trope. Like I've seen a lot of like my gay friends online and stuff be like, it's. When people like start to mock people and be like, oh, you hate gay people is probably because you're gay. And it's like, look, it happens. It does happen.
It's a thing.
It's a viable thing, especially to tell a story about. It's a viable thing to tell a story about.
Mm-hmm.
But
which is why it's interesting that they approach these topics within this movie like that. Like those are like the core values that they're showing of these people, and it's like. Yeah, it's like they're shown in a way that it's like it is problematic, for sure, but it is just part of the tapestry, unfortunately.
Totally, and I don't think bad of the film for that, but just in terms of like just stating that like that doesn't 100% mean anything, but when
it just feels very truthful.
In this guy's life, that's totally what's going on.
Absolutely,
and he is he's not healthy or doing right by anyone in his life
anyway,
because like he turns around and like they go dancing and he sees his wife dancing near a guy and he's like Were you gonna cheat on me? Like, well, obviously, you've already gone there.
but remember, he was totally cool when she was like grinding on her brother super hard, and Vero was like on the other side.
All my lovers in one place,
and
they're related.
That was like the weirdest. Hey, you want to have a three-way with me and my sister? My sister's gonna be in the middle though. Just like,
what?
Well, it's not gay if it's in a three-way.
And so this is where Vero comes into their lives, because she comes dancing. Like, Fabian brings her dancing with them, and that's when she meets this whole family. And Angel's kind of like, "What? You got a girlfriend now, Fabian?" And he's like, "Well, maybe. I don't know. None of your business."
Exactly, and this is none of your fucking business, bro.
Yeah. So, no one's happy.
This isn't a fulfilled marriage for sure.
Yeah.
Or like even on her end, like you said, it just seems like she's very empty and like looking for.
She's very stressed out.
Yeah, she's looking like for a purpose or something. It feels
she's
like
basically raising 3 boys because her husband is
I was talking
a
about
child.
Vero. I was talking about Vero, but
Vero.
Because she's in because for sure she's in the loveless marriage that for sure. Yeah, but I'm just saying everyone in this situation is utterly fucking unhappy.
Yeah, everyone's looking for something.
Yeah,
exactly.
Everyone's life is in chaos in this film.
Yeah.
Sexual chaos.
So I guess this is where the movie gets weird.
Oh, this is
it started weird,
really?
But this is where
okay.
Well, everything we discussed was just pure drama.
Yeah, buckle up, folks. It don't get any fucking easier for me.
So this is where Vero's like, "You guys seem unhappy. I'm gonna fix your lives."
Oh, yeah, that's right. Again, have you ever considered getting railed?
Basically, Vero's in this situation where she would like nothing more than to continue banging this alien.
Yep.
But the alien is no longer interested in her.
Yeah.
But she loves the alien, so she's like, "I'm going to go find other people for it to bang." So she's like, "Hey, Fabian, have you tried?"
Yep. You've been stretched out by an extraterrestrial.
It's very classily done, because like we don't know how much she does or doesn't explain to him. We just see her being
it's like a soft pitch.
She takes him out.
It's like just a couple of edits, and they're there at the forest.
Takes him out in the countryside, and she's like, "Walk that way." And you'll find a cabin.
Yeah, I wrote, "This motherfucker is trusting."
Yeah.
Straight.
He's like, "Vero seems like fun. It's probably some cool drugs or something."
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then before, that's right, because I mean she Veronica's just like, "Normal dick simply won't do," is one of my notes.
That next level dick.
Exactly, because the movie immediately like challenges the stereotypes with like the husband's affair and everything, like with homophobic, like with all that and stuff. But like, sorry, getting lost in the notes right here. But
no, you're good.
She does end up telling him like, "Hey, wouldn't this be a fun thing?" Sort of like in a roundabout way.
She's like, "It's awesome. You got to try it."
Exactly.
And we're like, we know what it is, but we don't know whether he really knows what he's.
We also jump back to the couple at that point, the old couple. I don't know if you remember, where they're in the front of the tree.
Yeah.
And like she's, again, everybody and everything is horny in this movie. She reaches over on his hand. She puts his hand on her lap, and like she's right about to just put her hand up there, and then fucking Veronica comes in.
Yeah, this older couple that's been studying this fuck monster. They sometimes, I don't know. Were they gonna do something though? Like I kind of feel like maybe he wasn't into it, and she just wanted to. I don't know. I feel like
another movie that parallels with this is X. In terms of like exploring older.
This older couple is sexually frustrated.
Exactly.
Also, even though they have in their house the epitome of all sexuality.
Yeah.
It's interesting how it's like, like you framed it as her being in love with it, and I didn't even like think of that.
Latch onto that
because
for sure.
She doesn't ever express it as I'm in love with this person or something like that. When she's like, when she's like, pussyfooting around it with him, when she's sort of like, oh, he's like, so this person, was it a guy or a girl? And she's like, I don't know, kind of neither. And he's just like, and it's obvious she's not talking about a non-binary it as a relationship. Person.
She's like, I have someone that I'm seeing and it's complicated.
Yeah, she keeps it real vague.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it's clear the implication isn't like a non-binary or gender non-conforming person, but just because she's literally like, I don't know, it could be either. And it's just
whatever you want it to be.
But she does say it's sort of like her relationship with the creature is also unhealthy because she's addicted, and she expresses to someone later that she's like, she knows that if she goes back, it might like kill her, but she tells someone, I need something to distract me, or I'm afraid I'm gonna go back.
That's what,
she can't help herself.
That's what my note was. That's what it was. Yeah, she tries like sleeping with other dudes at the club. She
tries sleeping with humans.
Humans, and again, normal dick will not do.
It will not do.
This weird parallel that I'm just noticing of Angel is like purposefully abusive. Like he knows everything he's doing to her. What I mean? Like he doesn't like think he's like the good guy there. And the alien, like as unknowable as it is kind of more a force of nature or like seemingly benevolent. So it's almost like it's like an abusive relationship intentionally and an abusive relationship where it's just like, even
that's its nature.
For the even for like its best intentions, this eventually happens. That's just what it is. It's flawed. It is a metaphor for the cycle of violence or something like that.
Yeah, because initially that's what I said. It was like the alien seems like a metaphor for like an abusive relationship in general.
Yeah,
like because they're all obsessed with it. They want to go back to it, but they know it's hurting them, and it's like
but they can't stay away.
They can't stay away.
Yeah, and it's interesting how it's like they have that, but then with Ale, as it goes on, it's not quite the same. I don't want to get too far ahead. But.
No, yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and take it away.
Okay,
but it seems more like obsession than love. And even for the old people, it's just like, we're so obsessed, we need to know all these things about it. But yet they're not the ones going in there,
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly.
I feel like initially, like maybe when they were younger, because they've had this thing, that's what they talk about is they've been studying this creature that they found, and they keep it in their cabin. They've been studying it for a long time. They probably both had a lot of sex with it when they first found it. And then maybe it rejected them eventually. And then Vero showed up when she was very young, maybe even a child.
Yeah.
She just kind of showed, like, she felt its presence, and she showed up out of nowhere, and they're like, hello. And she's like, I need to see the thing. And she's been, quote unquote, dating this thing ever since. Like,
that's interesting.
Maybe for the last 15 years, she's been seeing this alien.
She's been groomed by this alien.
Yeah.
Like, literally, and
yeah.
Oh, it's such a
So she's been there is no one else for her. Like, this is her partner essentially. So she doesn't know how to deal with being rejected by it other than to like bring it people, because that's what it wants. She just wants to please it.
Yeah. Oh.
So that's why she brings Fabian. She's like, she says when she sends Fabian off to see it, she's like, it's gonna like you.
Yeah.
And he's like a really sweet person, so she's like, yeah, you'll be a good person for it. And it does go well, and he has a good time. And then when he goes again, so he goes and sees the alien, and then he breaks up with Angel.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't need you anymore.
It's such a baller scene. It's so sick, honestly. It's so dope to just see this dude feel, because we see some texts from Angel that are like, come over or I'll beat your ass. I just
super aggressive. Fuck. It's so fucked up.
And he's just like, bitch, lose my number.
I've got a new boo. Okay, so meeting this creature gives Fabian the strength to be like, I don't need Angel in my life
that's
anymore.
right,
I don't need this shitty
He
had his glow
dude.
up.
He
his glow
said
up, for
he
sure.
said
Yeah.
actually I have an anti-fuckboy shield, so you need to get out of here.
And you're like, good for you, Fabian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was very much. I was like, hell yeah, you go, girl.
But then something goes terribly wrong.
Oh yeah.
And there's this amazing, this is such a slow burn, quiet
Such
film.
an amazing reveal.
There is this 360
Yeah.
scene. The camera just turns and everything that
That is
unfolds
such
takes
a
place.
Good fucking reveal.
We're
dude.
out in the countryside around where the cabin is, and there's like a shepherd and a paramedic, and they're like talking about some guy that they found, and they're making their way
Just a
out.
Slow pan.
Yeah, they're
Very slow pan.
they're going over to this puddle, this like little tiny pond, and you realize it's Fabian. He's naked and maybe dead in this
his
puddle.
body is
he's
limp in a
Yeah,
puddle.
he's
So
like,
he ended up like in the middle of nowhere, like in this fucking pond, and you're like, what the hell happened to him? And he isn't dead, he's unconscious, but they take him to the
Sure as
hospital.
fuck looks like it though.
Yeah. And Ale finds out that her brother has been beaten up, sexually assaulted, he's unconscious, he's in a coma.
God. Yeah.
And she's like, oh my god, what the fuck happened to my brother?
Ugh. Yeah, it's so.
And
it's
you're like,
horrific, dude.
I know what
Yeah,
what
exactly,
happened
yeah,
to him.
yeah.
but I think
But-
honestly, with it being the first viewing for me, for a minute, I was unsure if it was on
They
if
play
it was
with
on
that.
hell or not.
Yeah,
because like it's both. It seems very likely that either of them could do it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It could go either way. And they don't show you, like, you just find him there. So you don't know where he's been in between.
Yeah.
Well, because before that, don't we have the scene where they're arguing in the parking lot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that comes
They
up.
argue in the parking lot, and then Angel goes home super duper drunk, and then just starts weeping like a baby on his wife's like chest.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm
oh
like,
my god.
I'm like, hey, props for being a big enough alcoholic that this isn't a red flag. Like you're having like a
This
breakup breakdown on your wife's like lap, and she's just like, I don't know. It's Tuesday. He's drunk. He probably shit his pants. Like that's.
Oh my god.
He
yeah,
definitely
dude,
peed on himself.
Yeah.
He fucking has to hold his dick to actually aim into the toilet. That's
He's
so.
peeing all over the bathroom.
It
She's
is
like, will
so-
you please?
And he's leaning all
Stop.
the way back. I was afraid she was gonna rip it off. Like,
It's
So-
yeah, it's so fucking. Ugh, yeah. Have a word with yourself, bro.
Yeah. So even in this, Ale is alone. Like, she's like, her brother's been
oh my god, you're so right.
really badly beaten, and
Yeah.
her husband is like, he's upset about what's happened to Fabian, but obviously he's like, it happened to him because he's gay. Because
Yeah, it's
again,
just-
he's covering his tracks in this horrible
Yeah.
way, and he's like not visiting Fabian in the hospital, even though he's his lover. He's just like, whatever, never mind, we won't talk about it anymore.
Yeah, because she even she asks him like, "Oh, someone said they saw you at the hospital talking."
And
Yeah.
he says, pretty much like verbatim, he's like, I never spoke to him before, like you brought him around. Like he, like,
yeah,
like,
the only reason I ever spoke to him was because he's
yeah,
British.
yeah.
I don't talk to people like him.
I don't talk to people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know that. You
Yeah.
know that.
So-
like,
Exactly.
you know that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah.
oh, bro, just be honest with
Yeah.
someone in this fucking
It's
film.
really, really shitty.
Be honest with someone.
So Ale bumps into Vero, who doesn't say anything.
She doesn't say shit.
She knows
man.
some shit that Fabian's been up to. She doesn't say shit.
She's very complicit. As far as I'm
She's
fucking
just like,
concerned.
But
you
Vero's
know what's
like-
good for what ails you.
So Vero is like, I'll take you to. She takes Ale to Fabian's apartment to get his birth certificate, and Ale finds
Yeah.
Fabian's phone there, and she
Damn,
sees
that's
the
the
text
reveal, yeah.
messages from her
Oh my
husband
God,
being
very
like,
aggressive.
Chekhov's
Where you at?
sext goes off.
yeah.
Chekhov's.
So this is how she finds out. She sees these texts being like, Where are you? I want to fuck. I'm going to beat the shit out of you. It's all there.
I'm going to kill you if you don't give me some of that sweet little bung.
Yeah. So she has to report her husband.
Yeah.
And he gets arrested.
Yeah.
So Angel goes to jail.
Yeah, because she's the one who makes the report, right?
Yeah, she doesn't. She really doesn't want to. You can tell that she's very scared that there are consequences for being like, yeah, my husband's
might be a murderer.
Yeah, but she has to do it.
Yeah, it's her.
It's
the brother. I think maybe if it was someone else, she would second guess.
Yeah, she'd probably be a little bit more forgiving.
Yeah, she'd probably keep her mouth shut, but like not for her brother. She loves her brother.
Yeah, I'm in my nose. Like, she went right for the throat with those fucking charges.
Yeah,
like, immediately.
When they're in the like little jailhouse courtroom, which is such a trip. Obviously, I don't really know, but if that's commonplace.
They're like holding a whole trial inside the holding cell.
If that's commonplace in Mexico, it seems like literally the purpose is just like, we really don't give a shit. It's obviously not going to be a fair trial. Like, let's get this shit done.
Let's just get this.
Yep, it's just paint by numbers.
Such a kangaroo court, you know. It's like such a trip. And then the other guy, the guy who saw them arguing. Talks, and then she comes up and Angel's like, it's okay, baby, just talk, just let him know what's up. And she's like, anyway, this motherfucker did it.
Yeah, that motherfucker did that shit.
I mean, from her perspective, he's the obvious.
Yeah, exactly. You literally don't you don't have
somebody did that.
Somebody did that.
She's unaware of the presence of fuck monsters in the universe.
Yeah. That's not a reality in our reality.
Yeah.
But soon.
But soon. Just wait. So she sends her husband to jail, and her brother's in a coma, and she's even more alone and more stressed out than ever. She's still got her 2 sons, and she's getting some time off of work, but her mother-in-law is sort of this like evil force in her life. Like, she's obviously been telling the kids that, oh, your uncle ended up like this because of how he what he is.
Yeah,
it's so fucking disgusting. Because even you have that line when he comes back, I think after she found out initially, found the texts and everything.
Yeah,
you have that line with the kid when he like tells him, okay, get ready for bed or something like that. They run up, and then she's like, the kid asks, he's like, Mom, what did Uncle what was his name? Fabian do that angered God? Or like, yeah, like what did he do to make God angry? I think that was the line. I was like,
yeah,
damn, know that was not the fucking kid thinking that. Like,
that was some shit from grandma.
That was some grandma talk right there, bro.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was fucking horrible. Yeah, it was. Yeah, but yeah, there's that toxicity is just kind of seeping through again. And all shit that I fucking immediately caught.
I gotta highlight when they come out to arrest him, when they just come to his job to arrest him.
Yeah,
I gotta say, obviously, like, they did it for a shitty dude, but props for fighting the cops.
You should always.
Yeah.
Always. You always gotta fight.
Always. So good.
They're just like, oh fuck no. The cops just like, you want some? They're just, actually, never mind.
You gotta fight for your right to party.
Hey, just a couple of bros humping each other in the dirt. What the fuck did I do?
It was. Oh, sorry. I thought this was American. Fucking Randy from South Park.
So, needless to say, Ale is very stressed out. And Vero's like, you know what? I got the perfect thing.
You ever been dicked down by an alien?
So now we see it from a closer perspective. Veronica is like, so if you want to feel better, there's this cabin that you can go to. I'll watch your kids.
Yeah. I got the kids. Go ahead.
Just go that way.
You at night.
So Ale goes out to the cabin and she meets this science couple.
Yes.
And that's where this is where you get a lot of the explanation of they tell LA like how they've known Vero this whole time, how they've been studying this creature, and they explain a little bit of like they give her this drink to drink.
Is this the animal?
Yeah, that's where the animal.
It's happening nearby. Yeah, I think it might happen a little bit later.
Oh, no, it happens around this time because that's when they lay
she
her
starts
down
hanging out around the cabin.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So that they explained to her that the alien came down on a meteor or in a meteor, and
it just says
crash landed in this there's this crater that it left behind that's still out in the woods, and there's fuck magic coming out of it. All these
magic dragon.
Fuck the magic dragon. My note is just it's a zoo orgy.
Yeah, I wrote animal orgy in
animal orgy.
There's
a feat of modern CGI.
It's very good CG.
It really is, honestly.
They're like
never really see goat testicles
pairs of
that clear.
Goats, dogs, ducks, snakes.
There are snakes.
There's like Komodo dragons,
lizards,
69 in like,
and they're all mating in this crater where the alien landed.
God.
So it just has this effect.
It's so
on nature.
You know what's a trip too is like when it shows the ducks having sex, which is extra crazy because I'm not a weird thing to know, but I've been on the internet since I was a kid. I don't know if y'all know that like
screwdriver.
Most duck sex is rape. Like most procreation for ducks is because they rape each other.
All I've ever known was just the weird dick that comes out.
Yeah,
of
that too.
Fucking corkscrew dick.
And that's because they constantly rape. So the female duck over time, their vagina has evolved to be like a maze. It has false endings. It has like holes that don't go to the fallopian tubes or whatever the equivalent is for a duck. And that's why they have the corkscrew. But even the ducks are like having like they're like, this is sick. We're both into this.
What the fuck?
Have you been watching green porn with Isabella Rossellini? She has a show called Green Porn, and she'll dress up as animals, and then she'll be like, "Ooh, I'm a lady duck. Let me show you how I mate."
I just don't know how we got here. Like I know,
well, just because
the zoo orgy is such a wild term. But we just learned about duck rape for about fucking. I just
thought it was interesting that the fuck magic is so strong that even an animal that literally is known to like enjoy sex, they're down there fucking like, so tough that like they didn't even pull out to have the babies. There's ducklings like walking around them while they're fucking. It's beautiful, man. That's all I'm saying.
It's fucking great.
It's our most primal urges.
Yeah.
That's how it's advertised too. To this poor woman.
God damn. Yeah, exactly. To this unfortunate soul.
Yeah. So they give her what the fuck did
they give her some?
They give her some tasty drink.
There's just like swamp plants floating in her water. I've been hella picky my whole life, and it sucks having to like let people down by being like, I'm sorry, I can't fuck with that. But that's one where I'd just be like, you're out of your mind.
I ain't drinking that.
It's a fucking dandelion in this shit. Get the fuck out of here.
So basically, they're like, drink this. Yeah. Don't worry.
What's in it?
And then they yeet her into this room with a bed.
Yeah, I know. It's like, how fucking romantic, dude. It's a spotlight on a fucking dirty ass stained mattress.
They're like, your mind and body are gonna disconnect because there's some real fucked up shit in there. But like, don't even worry about it.
And there's this. This is the first time you see the alien
creature. Well, yeah, full on.
The like mass of it.
Yeah.
It's a pile of tentacles.
Yeah, because you don't see the face until she ends up until later on, right? Like,
there's a little bit
glimpses. There's glimpses.
There's a head / face. It's hard to tell.
Which head are we talking about?
It's very much like an octopus.
An octopus
but with a little
is
bit
guarded
it is
in the shed.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Whoa, Ringo, this is really fucked up. If I may suggest some edits. Just a few.
Oh my god.
They need to rework this scene with so many other characters from other shit.
Yeah.
This is what I want deepfakes to be used
Oh my
for.
god, Steve Buscemi.
Willem Dafoe.
I feel like even if it was just a deep fake, like literally the power of Willem Dafoe would literally edit that deep fake into a scene where he fucks the alien.
Yeah. Or he's gonna have to be the alien.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god. It's
Peter
like
Parker. We can rule this city, Spider-Man.
They put his face on every single Spice Girl.
That's so funny.
And it slaps.
Oh my god, dude.
It's so
So
funny.
she's on hella drugs.
Yeah.
And they're like,
And
the
just
woman walks
down
over
by
to
this
the alien and she leans down to the alien, which is like a breathing pile of tentacles, and she's like, she's ready for you now.
Yeah.
God,
She says to the alien.
And it just goes.
And then they leave
Larry,
her
get me in there, coach.
And the alien comes over to her and like starts climbing up the edge of the bed, and she is understandably
reveal,
terrified, but also like a little bit fascinated.
This might like reveal a weird amount about myself, but all I could think when I'm seeing the end of these tentacles is that what foreskin's like?
Made of 100% genuine foreskin.
Genuine foreskin. I know, it's so vague. Anyway, so
she has joined her body with the alien, unwillingly, but then later willingly.
Yeah. She's like, this is really working for me.
And
this is doing it.
I feel better.
Again, that normal dick just won't do after this.
Yeah. My mind is clear.
Damn girl, you got a pep in your step. It's an alien load. That's my secret.
It's just the answer to all your problems.
It's an alien load.
So she goes back. She's a repeat customer.
Offender?
Yeah. Yeah. And so she's the new person, so Vero kind of like leaves.
Mm-hmm. She
town.
can't stand. She wants the best for it, but she can't stand to see it in love with someone else.
Mm-hmm. She's
that
jelly.
is how that
She's
kind of
super
plays
jelly.
out. Okay, I never really I've never read that from watching.
She's like, let me hook up my bestie and my best friend, or my ex and my best friend.
And my best friend,
and
exactly.
Then she's just like, oh, this didn't make me feel positive.
Well, that fucking backfired.
But this is an interesting interlude because she goes off somewhere and she's at like a diner.
Yeah, like
and
a
she
truck
meets
stop.
This guy.
Yeah.
Who's a hunter.
Again, that normal.
That
dick.
dude.
Yeah.
That dude is a fucking badass, though. To be honest, like,
Yeah, he's pretty
boars
cool.
are terrifying, and I don't.
Motherfucker just hunts him with his dogs, like.
Yeah, he's like, it's fun. I do it for my hobby.
He seems like a surprisingly cool guy in a movie where everyone kind of like, other than Fabian, like, there's really nothing wrong with Fabian, you know.
Yeah.
But,
No,
but
absolutely
everyone else
not,
is
no.
so like twisted. But
It's fucked up that he's fucking his sister.
Oh yeah. But that's
Not
also
a good
so.
move.
It's so. He's so coerced into it. Like,
yeah, that's true. Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's very true.
Yeah.
And they do talk about that
that's a good
too.
point.
Like, I think there's a discussion about how Ale and Fabian came out of Tijuana or something as kids, and then they were kind of like maybe taken in by Angel's family. and they just kind of became part of the family, and then
see that longevity just kind of
interesting.
That can kind of solidify.
So like they owe everything to Angel's family in this really unhealthy way.
It comes down to like the theme of like abusive family. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like it's not even the abusive relationships can come from all over.
Yeah,
really.
And Angel acts as though he owns both of them. Like he owns his wife and he owns his lover. And he's like, oh, you're mine.
Yeah.
Did we get to? Do you know, Chad? If we got to the newspaper ad? Or not the ad, but the article?
I don't think we had brought that up in the part that was said.
Okay, yeah, I really want to hit that point because that's like the cusp of why he even made the movie. So I really want to touch on that.
Yeah.
Are you?
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good.
Oh, so, well, it kind of comes in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
So what ends up happening with Ale is like she reaches this place of peace. And she realizes the alien is kind of at the core of all this, and it helps her make the decision to take her brother off of life support.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And she says goodbye to him.
Such a cold
this
scene.
this weird like he died doing what he loved kind of like like it seems like it's like okay, it's like you know, I touched upon this before, but how it's like no one is in love in this movie. No one tells anyone they love each other. She doesn't even Ale doesn't even seem to particularly love her kids. They're just burdens. They are just there to weigh her down in the overall plot, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's just everyone that meets it is obsessed with this creature, and everyone else is so obsessed with like sort of how they're perceived, whether it's Angel wanting everyone to think that he's like totally straight bro and he would never, and Fabian wants Fabian wants to be seen as like such a good person, which he is, but it's like that struggle of like he's got this stuff going on and he feels bad for it, and that's why he's like, I'm gonna go with you to find this dog. And it's just like that's a lot. That's a lot for a nurse to do.
Yeah, this is not your responsibility.
You know? And it's like, I feel like the Boar guy in this weird way, because everyone else is like so concerned with the boxes people put them in and the perspective people have on them and all these things. And this dude's just like very matter of factly like, yeah, I hunt really dangerous, like wild ass animals. I do more this fun. Cool stuff. And then when they have sex and him and Vera are having sex, he literally stops to like affirm consent. To literally be
exactly.
He's like
he's the only person in this whole thing.
She's so like bored and like borderline annoyed and
that hurt my feelings so bad.
It's just like if you're like a man or a woman, but if you're just someone who, you know, means well and you're in the middle of sex and the other person is just bored, like that shit like he just stops. Like I feel very purposeful in being like, he did not finish, he just stopped. He was just like, you don't seem to be enjoying this, and like that just makes me feel
that line
bad.
That line really stuck with me. He's like, we're both here because we want to be, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And she's like and he's like, okay, we're done.
They're like on the surface grimiest looking guy, just some hunter at a truck stop is the one guy who's just like, if you aren't getting enjoyment from this, like I'm not just having sex with you so that I just to come, like I want a connection. And if you're just gonna stare at the wall like you hate all of this, like obviously that's just gonna like
it's so
fucking
sad.
Just
and then she asks him, she's like, can you just stay here? Because I'm afraid I might go back.
That was sad, dude. That was so sad.
And he's like, I guess he was like, nah.
He's like, it seems like he left. Like he was just like, that's unfair. Like you don't get to like be weird to me and then expect me to like take on your burdens. Like
Yeah.
Like, you kind of used me to prove a point to yourself, and
man, I love that reading of it too. That like you said, that was like, that feels like the baller move, if you ask me. Like him just walking out and being like, yeah dude, like, I'm fucking need that. Like, what the
this
fuck?
is
like,
unhealthy, and I'm leaving.
Yeah, like
I'm not into this, bro.
Yeah, this isn't good for anybody. But yeah, totally.
Yeah, no, I appreciated that, like, inclusion of him, because it seems like on the surface it just seems like a character, like a throwaway character, but yeah, like you said, like, it is.
He's a litmus test.
He's like the most earnest fucking person in the entire movie. He's the only one who's actually like pure hearted, and he's only on screen for all of 5 minutes.
Yeah, the man, nothing the guy
says the moral voice
seems like a lie or out of turn. She's like, "What do you do? This is what I do." Okay, we're having sex. Oh, you're not into it.
Okay, let's fuck.
You're not into it. Then like, whatever, man. I'm gonna take my dogs and we're gonna go bunker down and kill some boars.
This is when so everything, Vero goes off and Ale's slowly improving her life through various means, and then Angel gets out of jail. His parents get him out of jail. His parents are pretty well off, and they sell his house to make his bail.
Yeah.
And they're basically like, they have him in the back of the car.
And man-child.
Yeah, and they're like, you are a fuck-up. You're an embarrassment. You're like a pariah of society.
You're disgusting. By the way, there's definitely some like homophobia from them thrown at him.
Yeah, they're disgusted by it because they know now that he was involved with
like,
Fabian.
By the way, your boyfriend's dead.
And they have this, like, his mother throws this newspaper on his lap that has this
sad,
like super cold headline, like,
it's disgusting.
Gay man drowns in a puddle. It's just like this sensational headline.
Not that cleanly worded.
They used a different word.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking terrible. Yeah.
And this is the inspiration for this film. The director Amat Escalante saw this headline, and he thought, like, who would write it this way?
Yeah, it's just so hard.
Yeah, who would reduce someone this way, and have, it's just a, if it bleeds, it leads headline.
Yeah, like, exactly. That's exactly what it feels like. It's just like a tabloidish, fucking eye-grabbing shit. But it's like in the most disgusting portrayal of, like, not even media coldness, but it really feels like that's the point of view of the culture. Throughout all of this, it just kind of feels like the movie just has not the movie itself, but the culture itself has a disgusting view.
It's a lence on how
from
this
that
is.
like cultural perspective, Joey. I wanted to ask you, like, how the mother like berates him for like 3 or 4 different scenes or like setting changes in a row, and then the father is just silent the whole time, and then when he
doesn't say a word.
When they're like eating dinner together, he's just sitting there like sipping his soup, like not saying anything,
like nothing's wrong.
Yeah.
He's like, not my
and then
problem.
He comes into the room and just smacks the shit out of him, and it's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And then hugs him.
I forgot about that.
And Angel starts crying, and
he gives him this bear hug.
That's just like the sum of his interactions with his parents.
Can I just say
so interesting,
how fucking stupid it is that they took him home, that they're not paying attention to these kinds of things because they're not real. They put him in the gun room.
I think that was on purpose.
That's what
I think she wants him to kill himself. She's like you're a failure. The best thing that you could do at this point is fucking kill yourself, and then I'm gonna go kidnap your kids from school, and I'm gonna raise your kids.
She did do that.
Fuck, that's right. That did happen. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Damn, bro, that's so fuck. Yeah, because
she went. Yeah, when Ale went to pick up her kids, they said, "Oh yeah, Grandma already picked them up." And then Ale had to go. She marched down there.
Oh yeah.
To Grandma's house, and she's like, "Give me my kids." And she's like, "Maybe you're not in the best place to raise them right now." So Ale threw a fucking rock through the window.
Wasn't asking.
She's like, "Kids, get out of the way," and threw the rock immediately.
I love that.
And she just got him out of there.
And then the following scene is where the kid's acting like really shines, like the whole, what what did our uncle do?
Yeah.
He's such a bad person, right? Oh, you know, why did you get our dad thrown in jail? Blah, 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 all these things. And then it culminates in her just being like, whoever shuts the fuck up the longest gets surprised, you know? Because it's, and I was getting terrified. I was like, is this woman going to go drown her kids? You know what I mean? Like it really, no one in this movie has any sense of like what normality is. Everything is just like so
she's
twisted.
like, let's be clear, your grandma's a bitch. She's a lying cunt.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because like, I mean, going back to it, like culturally, I've witnessed that shit too. Where like, the matriarch will step up, and it's kind of like they're the louder one, when the patriarch is just very much like, do the job, get the money, pay the, feed the kids, fucking get them through another day. That's it.
Just let her deal with all of that.
Let her deal with the parenting,
as opposed to the whole like wait till your father gets home. It's like, no, I'm a deal with you, and he doesn't even have shit to say to you because you're not his job.
He's too tired because he's working. Yeah, exactly. Like that's I've definitely seen that for sure, and like just growing up and stuff, and it's sad, but it's also just like, again, I can clearly pick up on these things now in the film as they're presenting them, as it's like, this is just how normal life is for them, and I'm just like, I recognize all of that. I recognize a lot of these things,
It's being clearly communicated.
So I'm very, very happy with the way that the movie deals with these types of incidents, and like even the scene in the gun room was just like very poignant. It was just like
the doors open to the shotguns,
exactly. Like
they're all lit up.
Exactly. The fucking what the fuck? Like it's so it's sad because you can see like even as shitty of a person as a character as he's been, you still see him like very much. You're very much able to connect with him on a human level. I think
you see in that how moment, he became this way.
You pick up a lot of why he is who he is, and it's that classic like it's not an excuse, but it's an explanation.
Absolutely, exactly.
And he does almost kill himself. He's
like getting
head.
ready to when his dad comes in the room. And I wonder if that's why he did it. I wonder if that is supposed to be the unspoken text there in the film. Is that the dad knows that the mom essentially set this dude up to kill himself. He knew he'd be sitting there ideating with the gun to his head, so he just walked up and slapped the shit out of him. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What are you thinking? Like, be a man. Yeah. And to this guy who's so warped, he's like, be a man? Guess I'll go terrorize my wife. You know,
and that's what he does.
Jesus Christ! I know, it's like he just like transfers it over.
He somehow he
all
finds where Ale is staying.
Oh, they tell her. They say they're living in some hippie commune because they took over Vero's room when she left.
Yeah, she was staying at this like hostel basically, and he shows up. Ale's like doing dishes, and Angel shows
he's
up.
Like, who the fuck is he?
Like, he's like, what nearest man? He's like, is that who you're fucking? Is it him? Or maybe it's that guy.
McConaughey over here like, hey, calm down, brother.
So he comes in and he's like, I'm out of jail. I'm here. I'm ready to get my family back on track. We'll go back. Everything will go back the way it was. And she's like, I'm good.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
It's going to be a no from me, dog.
And he's like, well, what if I like drag you out of here by your hair? Maybe then we'll be a happy family.
Chill, right?
And she's like,
violent scene.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and he shoots himself.
Motherfucker cheddar bobs himself.
He has a moment where he like maybe might be about to shoot his wife.
He is about to shoot her. Fuck that. He's about to kill that woman.
I was ready to see the fridge get painted with her brains for sure.
Yeah,
it's a terrifying moment.
It's so scary.
And he can't get the gun out of his jean pocket, and he shoots himself in the knee. And he's like on the floor yelling like
that was my favorite
the little
part.
Baby he is, and she's like,
my favorite part.
What the fuck do I do with you now?
And then we get that beautiful bird's eye view.
Oh yeah, she drives him out, not to the hospital, but to the countryside.
She's like, I know a good doctor down here.
This Dr. Feelgood.
That's so fucking funny.
And he's like, losing blood, and she's like struggling to drag his ass across
I'm fucking dying here, man.
the woods, and he's like, "Where are we going?" And she's like, "You'll see, it'll be great."
I just like to imagine him in like a reservoir dog.
He's
just bleeding
so
out.
delirious too. And then when like she's dragging him by his like torso,
It's the shirt.
She's like almost trying to be like more humane at that point. And then by the time she gets there, she's just gone full like human wheelbarrow mode, and she just has him by both of his legs. And the wound is for sure
like,
been like severed more by doing that, you know.
But even then, like they end up in wheelbarrows later. That's like that's like
you
so
just
good.
gotta get it done.
It's so
And
good.
She's like she.
This is a very alarming part as well. She gets to the cabin and there doesn't seem to be anybody home. There's always been someone home.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hello?"
They're like
And
the
she-
dead was in town. You understand?
She opens the room where the creature lives, and Vero falls out, and she's
Her
dead.
ear is
Yeah, that was a.
punctured. Which
Yeah,
She's like
yeah,
baby
she
bleeding
went
out of her
back.
nose. Like she's gone back to the creature. She couldn't stay away, and it didn't go well.
and it makes me wonder if it's like a weird mechanical question, but it just in terms of like it's not a very scary movie really. Like it never really feels scary at all, but this
No.
moment feels so like messed up, and you're
like, oh,
you're
it's
kind of
all
left to
wrong.
wonder like did it just like go through her ear into her brain because it just wanted to kill her, or was it like something
it was mad at her.
like, you know? And
Yeah.
it's just
Ugh.
You don't like she's not fucked up, but there's blood coming out of places that it doesn't like maybe
Yeah.
out of her eyes.
Yeah.
Like
definitely
she's,
the ears.
yeah.
It's like black.
She's gone.
It's like it's been a
Yeah.
while, and
It's
she's
so-
against the door. When she opens the door, she falls.
Yeah,
out.
yeah. That's such a good reveal because you're not expecting a fucking body to fall out of there. You're expecting to see the alien in the room and shit.
Yeah.
It's just like flop, and it's just like what the fuck.
But there's like really there's no other fate for Vero.
no,
this
no,
is
no.
the
She
only
always
thing
had to
she
die.
has.
Yeah.
She's gonna die this way. So like it's horrifying, but it's like
it's
oh
literally
yeah, of
been
course.
her whole life.
If she
She
that's how
doesn't
you
have
gotta
anything
go.
else.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, death by snoo snoo.
There are worse. There's death by.
All right,
It's the best way.
I don't know.
And speaking of death by snoo snoo,
so okay.
so she's like, I don't know what exactly is gonna happen here, but I'm dragging my stupid husband in this room. She drags him onto the bed. He's like,
You're gonna
what
have a
the
great time.
fuck is this? And the alien, which has previously been seen on the floor and on the bed, is up in the rafters, and it's
Wrapped
like kind of pissed off in a mild kind of way.
It
It's sort of
does
like
seem
hissing
angry,
maybe.
yeah.
Ugh.
It's like fuck.
It's like God damn it.
So she puts him on the bed and she fucks off out of there, and he's like, you get from its POV, he's looking up at it and he's like, what?
And then you get full face reveal of
this?
the creature. Yeah, that's right.
And it's just slowly coming down towards him.
It's just
And
and
you
I love that
don't-
before she leaves, she's like basically like, all right, you kids have fun.
I'll see you
Slams
later.
the door.
Now,
And,
now
like,
kids,
you
there's
don't-
pizza money on the on the counter.
Condoms in the drawer.
I'd
I
rather
like
you do
that
it in
you
my
don't
house.
get to know. It's safer this way.
I know you're gonna do it, so just do it here.
But you don't know if
Oh my god.
it fucks him or just kills him. You don't get to
Think it
know.
Was a little column.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it like I feel like its other victims like Ale or not Ale, excuse me, Vero and Fabian. I
And
feel
Fabian.
like the monster went too far without knowing.
Yeah.
Like there's this hilarious line in Babylon 5 where this alien guy he wants the genetics of this Earth woman and for like scientific reasons, and he's like, well, we could like just take some of your DNA, or we could do a direct mating. Tell me, what is your pleasure threshold? And so it seems like it might have just gone over the pleasure threshold with those two.
Yeah.
But then
Pleasure
like
threshold.
in its
I mean, that-
grief and
That
anger,
aligns.
I feel like, and also because it seems like so linked to the people that it's with, I feel like the grief and anger of these two possibly accidental losses and Ale's emotions towards Angel just made this thing be like, yeah, this dude is getting fucked up. The other two might have been an accident.
This is not a friend.
This guy is getting fucked up right now.
Yeah, I think it
that's probably a good read on
did
that.
him in. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's
so,
fucked up, though.
Oh, definitely. And then we cut to the aforementioned wheelbarrow.
The wheelbarrow in which we find Vero and Angel, who have both passed away. And it's Ale and the scientist guy, who is in the middle of telling her, oh, well, the creature bit my wife and like broke some of her ribs, so it's having a bad day. And she's like, okay. And then they take this wheelbarrow with these two people and they dump them in the ravine.
So
and Ale's looking down.
Plop.
She's looking down there and she's like, man, there's a lot of bodies down there.
Piling up, bro.
And then that
running out of real estate.
That good cut to black ending of just she's the new Vero. She's gonna spend the rest of her life obsessing over this creature. Her children are probably eventually going to get in the way and die.
Ooh.
And like will eventually hunt down someone else to be with this creature, or possibly
there is that line somewhere in there. Someone says it's never going to go away. It's only going to perfect itself.
Ooh, I missed that. That's fucking excellent.
I don't know what exactly that means.
Well, because if you could draw up, okay, I guess spoilers ahead for also Possession, but like you can kind of draw the comparison there too, where the creature just kind of becomes more and more visible. Throughout the movie as they kind of show little glimpses of it, and then it just fully realized. You know what I mean?
Pure, unfiltered spoiler. Everyone's final perfected form is Sam Neill.
Everyone.
When you become your best self, you just turn into Sam Neill.
So funny.
It's just Sam Neill.
I'm definitely gonna watch that movie soon, like way ahead of when we're gonna pod for it. Just to watch it
it's just good.
But
it's really good to have it in your mind.
I'm gonna start watching that movie once a month until I understand
what
it.
A trippy movie.
Yeah, I was the
one. Trippy movie overall. That the Untamed is. It's just such a like it bills itself as a sci-fi sexual drama, and like it truly is like such a drama of like I kind of said before, like it never feels scary. Like it's ostensibly a horror film. It's dread. It's like it inspires a feeling that is like 4 steps removed from fear, but then you get a little bit of fear at the end. But it's like the terror that you do feel is like, I don't want this guy to like just have his way with Ale and with
exactly.
Fabian. Like you, even when you worry about them. Know that the creature killed Fabian and not him, you're like, I don't care, burn, dude. And then him coming back to kill her shows that it's like, he's it doesn't matter. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, there's no hope for him.
He didn't kill him, but it's just a matter of time until he kills somebody.
Yeah.
It's true, a little snap. But overall, I mean, I think we really enjoyed this one. I think we'll go around giving our ratings because I was curious to hear your thoughts on it, and I was super glad that you enjoyed it, dude.
Are we rating it out of 6 now?
We can rate it out of 6.
The perfect score would be 3 6s, but
3 6s is the perfect score.
Wait, what?
We're now giving ratings out of 6, so that 3 of us culminating in a perfect score.
A 666.
6. The devil's work.
So what's your?
We were talking about this off pod. I'm sorry.
I think I missed something. Well, my question is is that I give it a 666?
No. You give it a 6.
If it gets a perfect score,
if it gets a
score would be a 666.
No, the audience is
they're just like, do 5, you idiots.
But who decided that?
We didn't. We unanimously And
no, I meant who decided 5 is the rule.
Oh, again,
I have a lot of friends who say like 5 out of 7. It was okay.
Oh yeah.
5 out
Give
of
it a 5 out of 7.
So I would. I mean, I want to preserve the sanctity of the holy 666, but also just like, a big thing for me about starting this pod was like, I love all these movies. I used to watch like a movie a day for a long time. I used to hunt for all these films and all this stuff, and just as time goes by, I've like lost touch with it. And I want to give this movie a 6 just simply because it's like the epitome, the distilled essence of like what I love about these genre films and like what draws me to them, where like, it's not there's an alien that fucks people. Like, you find that out in the first 10 seconds. The movie spoils itself the same way. If you want a friend to watch this movie, you're going to tell them that, but that's not really like, you want to see this spectacle, but it's everything around it and underneath it that makes the movie. And this movie just really encapsulates all those things that I love. So I'm gonna give it a 6.
Hell yeah.
Sweet.
Hell yeah. And I mean, I know your answer.
Oh, I don't know.
I know but I mean, I'm actually curious now that you sat with it a long time.
Yeah, I struggle with ratings like on a scale of all the movies I've seen or like in one genre. But I think, I mean, on the 5 scale, I think I gave it a 4, so it'd probably be a 5 out of 6. Just because there are films that blow me away more than this one. This one is very, very good, so it's very high up there. But I think maybe, it's not one that you would put on at any moment.
No, this is a mood movie for goddamn sure. Yeah.
It's like when you're deep in a discussion with someone and you're like, "What have you seen?"
You're just like, it's been a long day. I want to unwind. Let me put on.
And you want to unravel too.
And to bring it back, like, I'm way more likely to put Possession on because it's so fucking batty.
Yeah, that's a good. Okay.
It has more staying power.
See,
like
when you're comparing the two, it's hard to do that because when you put it into conversation, Possession honestly is just the stronger movie for me.
Yeah.
It's just flat out, everyone is acting to a fucking insane degree.
Yeah.
Like there is just actors with pinkies up, bro. Like it is the most
down
phenomenal
to the
performances
kids, dude.
I've ever seen.
Down to the kids. Everyone is so believable. They are these people. This is a documentary. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you feel like you're watching something you shouldn't be watching.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going down between these people.
I think so. For the purposes of the podcast, I like you said, like it brought up a lot of discussion. And I think that's really what I go into a lot of the movies that we're going to be choosing. Like, yeah, the violence and everything it's always fun. We're here to have a great time. Who doesn't love fuck aliens?
Right?
I mean, I know I do. But
I'm going to look for more now. I'm going to have to, the whole new genre.
Anybody know what Mac and Me is about? Because I'm going to give it a spin after this.
Mac and Me is about Coca-Cola.
so alien Coke orgies, got it.
Yeah.
So, I really liked the discussion that it brought up though. Like that's what I think. If you're gonna go to this movie for anything, it should be for the discussion that it brings up because that shit is very real.
It talks about some tough topics.
Very tough topics to broach, and within a culture that already does a lot to like hide that away or brush that under a rug.
Yeah, I think that's a good assessment. It is much more of a Possession is more fun.
Yeah,
but Possession doesn't necessarily hit on real life issues so much. It definitely gets into divorce.
Yeah, it's in a fantastical lens.
Yeah, but this film actually
and that's that DNA
stuff.
evolution of the genre of of course we had to have Friday the 13th isn't really about anything deeper. You know what I mean? Like there's really not much going on under the surface, but
it's about if you don't teach your son to swim, he's fucked.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's on you.
Pamela.
That's on you,
Pamela. So what's your score, Joe?
Again, for the purposes of this, I believe I would rate it at a 6 because it's just one of those that it has the staying power with the imagery and the shock and everything, but just the way that they presented these subjects, and like even just the visual aspects of like how sex can be used for different things by different people with like ill intent, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like
shame and control.
Yeah, it's a very interesting
and I
like,
think
look
and
at
I
that.
think it speaks too about how like, you know, sexual violence is about power, and to a lot of people sex is about power. A lot of this, and even for Ale, it's about giving up that power when everything around her is spiraling and she has to hold on so tightly to anything. But yeah, I think it's a really awesome, poignant film. I know we only have a couple minutes left, but
we gotta do the thing.
So now it's my segment. Here's my question for this movie. Because I decided what I'm gonna do is kind of, instead of would you survive type thing, a question more relevant to each film. So for this one, my question is, you know, like Urban Dictionary, all these weird sexual terms, like pterodactyling is like one of the most ridiculous ones, which is like having sex with so many partners, such a male to female ratio that like every orifice is in use. And this alien kind of does it on its own. So my question is, what would the Urban Dictionary term for going out into the shed in the forest, what would that term be for what you do with this alien?
Spelunking. Noodle, yeah, I think it's very much a noodle situation. I think spelunking, just because you know the whole through the mouth thing.
My favorite is
Heading
I think it's
Squidward.
from of all things, Adventure Time. Peppermint Butler alludes to this isn't one of those crazy seances. We're not going to end up buttercupping each other.
I love that kind of shit.
It's like, God damn, Adventure Time.
So we got spelunking, okay, well, noodling, and
spelunking,
I went with
noodling.
Heading Squidward.
Heading Squidward.
Whatever you want to call it.
I have
love
to
is
mention.
love. Okay.
We got less than a minute. What's up?
Clifton's alternate title for this is E to Mama. Oh, E to Tentacle Tambien.
All right, on that note, we're going to end it.
Tentacle.
Thank you, guys.
Extra tentacle.
Thank you, guys. Join us next time. This is the Devil's Work Podcast. Peace.
Sweet dreams.
Don't have any nightly emissions.